What's going on, everyone? I'm Garrett, and this is HIVE Sports, where we bring you all things college football and the NFL. Today, we're going to be focusing on our Sophomore Spotlight Series, where we try to bring you under-the-radar freshman producers from last year who are not quite getting their shine. So we want to find which of these guys really produced as a freshman, which of these guys is just not getting the hype that you'd expect. Like Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams, we know those guys, they're getting the hype that they deserve, but there's plenty of other talented freshmen from last year that are not getting that hype that they deserve. We want to bring that spotlight to these kids so that, hey, for whatever reason, if you're playing Dynasty Fantasy Football, or playing Devi or Campus to Canton, we're going to help you identify these kids ahead of the curve. You're going to be way ahead of the pack when it comes to time to scout these kids as they're heading into the NFL. When you need to make your decisions in your rookie drafts, you're going to have already known about these kids for multiple years. You're going to have dug into their scouting reports. You're going to feel comfortable with that pick because you're going to be so ahead of the curve. So that's kind of what we aim to do in this series, is just we want to find those gems, those hidden gems for you. The next Tet McMillans, the next Malik Neighbors, those guys who had freshman production but weren't necessarily being immediately hailed as the next great thing in college football. And today we're going to start out that Sophomore Spotlight Series with two running backs on the same team, both freshmen at Louisville. And this is something that's pretty rare, right? Because you don't often see two guys at the same position, both freshmen, breaking out as freshmen, looking extremely productive, extremely efficient. I mean, Isaac Brown and Duke Watson. These guys are flying under the radar. I can't figure out why. And I want to just show you exactly how good these guys have been. And I mean, it's a lot to be excited about. So, all right. So the first of two Louisville Cardinal running backs we're going to look at today for our Sophomore Spotlight Series is Isaac Brown. This kid came out of Florida. He went to high school in Florida, was the 39th rated running back in his recruiting class, and only a 3-star. And this is a kid who comes in as a true freshman in a major conference, puts up over 1,000 rushing yards, extremely efficient on the ground. It's not like he's just doing it by volume alone. He's explosive. He's catching passes, caught over 30 balls. This kid was one of the best true freshmen in the country, and I just don't hear him being talked about the way that you would expect someone to be talked about after producing the way that he did as a true freshman. And we're going to go through, I mean, we can look at some PFF rankings right now just to show you. So he was the 39th ranked running back coming out of his class. As a freshman, you can see Louisville has not one, but two top 5 rated freshman running backs in terms of PFF rushing grade. And I'm filtering this for freshmen with 40 carries or more. You look at Duke Watson was number 2, and Isaac Brown was number 5 out of all freshmen. I mean, these guys were top 5 in a lot of categories. Isaac Brown was number 2 of all freshmen in rushing yards. You know, he had incredible yards after contact per attempt, and as did Duke Watson. So these guys are both putting up promising metrics. The tape is just as exciting, and we're going to turn on Isaac Brown's highlights from last year just to give you a little bit of a glimpse. We dug into some numbers, and now we're going to give you a little bit of a glimpse of Isaac Brown and just how effective he was on the football field last year. And if I had to choose a pro comp for Isaac Brown, I think it would probably be a Devon Achane type. I don't know if he quite has that same second and third gear that a Devon Achane has, but he's definitely quick to that, you know, 0 to 60. He's very quick. He can catch a ball like you see here against Notre Dame. That's a good defense, and that was one highlight kind of opened my eyes, man. I mean, this guy is catching a passing touchdown as a true freshman against one of the best defenses in the country that went on to, make a national championship run. So that's an impressive catch. And the guy was doing it on the ground all year long. Just a really explosive talent. Now he is 190 pounds, 5'9", 190. He's not a huge guy. But if you can, I think what I want to see from him is I want to see him gain a little bit of weight, maybe get up to 205 by the time he comes out to the NFL. And I want to make sure that he continues to develop as a pass catcher. Because a guy like him, he's dangerous in open space. He has legit top-end speed. He's quick. He accelerates fast. He can change direction. These kind of guys, you want them to be very, very good pass catchers. Because that's how you actually truly utilize their skill set, right? Is they have to be a good pass catcher if you want to get them out here in space so they can make some plays. So I want him to improve his pass catching, gain a little bit of size. Other than that, I'm blown away by this kid. And I think he's, a great value in all formats right now. It'll be interesting to see if the workload distribution is kind of like last year, or if they switch it up a little bit. Isaac was the lead ball carrier last year. Duke Watson took a little bit of a complimentary role. And I would expect the same thing to happen next year. I don't really see why anything would change. The coaching staff, to my awareness, has not changed. And Isaac was productive in the lead back role, as was Duke in the change of pace role. So I'd expect it to definitely be some kind of split between those two guys. But I would expect Isaac Brown to take a 60% or more of the opportunity in that backfield. And this is a guy who's barely being even talked about in Debbie, barely even being talked about on campus to Canton. So he's not expensive to go out and trade for right now. And you could definitely be getting your money's worth if he continues to develop and is a high-end prospect coming into the NFL, which I could quite frankly easily see that happening. The kind of speed and explosiveness this guy has, a ball carrier. That last element, I would love to see him add to his game is just a little bit more strength to kind of shrug off that second, third tackler. But he's very, very good at getting those yards after contact despite his size. So it's not too much of an issue. And that 4 yards per carry after contact is pretty damn solid, and that's an indicator that I like to look for, especially if the running back is maybe undersized. I'm looking, okay, how many yards are they picking up on average per contact after contact per attempt? That's a good way of seeing, are they just going down right after they're getting arm tackled? Are they making guys miss? Are they getting into that second, third level consistently? And the freshman production, I just want to speak on that a little more because I just think it's so important, right? It's so easy to find guys who are being slept on when you can just sort by freshman production, look and see who's getting hype, who's going early in drafts, who's not, and you find those guys who are being overlooked for whatever reason. And I think Isaac and Duke are definitely two of those guys, man. I would be shocked if they didn't have suitors trying to get them to transfer too after the years that they had. So kudos to them for sticking it out, for staying loyal to Louisville. They were the ones who identified their talent, and they're sticking with them, and that's something you always love to see. But man, whoever's recruiting running back for Louisville right now, they got a couple good ones, man, last year. That was a hell of a recruiting class, and props to them. Because it's not like they're just putting up these numbers against bummy teams either. They're going up against Clemson's, Notre Dame's, These guys can play ball. They're not just guys who are going to produce against small schools, and they're legit talents. And I'm looking forward to showing you guys a little bit of Duke Watson as well here in a second. He's definitely an explosive guy. I mean, one thing I was kind of thinking about also is I think Tyler Shough has gotten a little bit of he's maybe gotten a little bit of a boost from just how good his freshman running backs were last year, because I think he's getting a lot of credit for that Louisville team success. And I haven't watched a ton of Shough. I can't really speak to how good he was last year, but I know these guys, Isaac Brown and Duke Watson, were definitely making his life a lot easier. I mean, home run threats out of the backfield. Defenses are definitely going to be wary of that. Anytime there's a guy like Isaac back there, just can score a touchdown with any touch. But if I had to guess, he's definitely 4.4s or lower. I wouldn't be shocked if he is a 4.3s, 4.38, 4.39 type guy. He can get it, man. You see that acceleration, and he gets up to top speed very quickly. Scored a lot of touchdowns, 12 total touchdowns as a true freshman. That's another thing you love to see. I'm excited, man. Is this guy going to have a sophomore slump, or is he going to take another step as a sophomore? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. We're going to go ahead and move on to his teammate now, Duke Watson. He's another guy coming out of high school he was 37th in his class as opposed to 39th for Isaac, right? And Duke Watson was also a 3-star, came out of Georgia. So this is another guy, I think, being underrated, undervalued, kind of just falling through the cracks. And Louisville just snapped up both of these dudes, and both of these dudes looked really good as freshmen. And see, Duke Watson has some interest from Auburn and Penn State as well. And those are two schools that they really know how to recruit running back. I respect what Cadillac Williams does for that Auburn running back room. He's recruited Jarquez Hunter, Tank Bigsby, and more. I kind of like a couple of the guys they got this recruiting class, Alvin Henderson included. Penn State, obviously, known as running back U for a while. They got Saquon, Miles Sanders, more recently Katron Allen and Nick Singleton. So these are running back schools that know how to scout running back, right? They know how to evaluate running back talent, and that's a promising thing to see. So yeah, just heading into his highlights, this kid is another one who he's a little bit, and just to kind of show the differences in their profile, 6 foot versus 5'9", right? 5'9", 190 for Isaac, and then you look at Duke, 6 foot, 180. So he's actually quite a few inches taller than Isaac and lighter than Isaac. So he could. I mean, this is old. He's probably a little heavier than this now. This was coming out of high school. But Duke has got a larger frame. He's a little taller. Came out a little more slender than Isaac. But I think if he has probably the most room to put on some muscle and pack on some weight out of the two, just because of that large 6 foot frame. But yeah, just heading into his highlights, explosive dude. It's only 67 attempts, 657 yards as a runner, almost 10 yards per carry. This guy is extremely efficient. And you saw he was number 2 of all freshman running backs on PFF in terms of running grade. So this guy's not to be slept on either, man. Isaac's nice, but so is Duke, and they got a heck of a duo back there in that backfield. And you know what? They got at least 2 more years of them as well. So you really reap a lot of benefits and a lot of rewards for identifying those freshmen that break out early. But yeah, you see that vision, man. He runs with some good feel. Some good patience. He kind of senses where the defenders are around him. He's explosive too, man, and he's physical. He doesn't look 180 out there, right? I mean, he could still pack on some pounds, but I guess he's probably up to 190 to 200 pretty easily. So if Duke, I feel like Duke might even have a little more upside than Isaac Brown, just because, let's say he gets into that 210, 215 range. He's got the 6-foot frame. Man, like, that's just something you can't coach. So excited to see how he develops both physically and just as a running back. You see a lot of tools, a lot of high-end tools that he's flashing here on this tape. He moves laterally very well, and he's got speed, man. He's not slow. Got speed, good vision, good lateral agility. And he makes guys miss too, man. I mean, these arm tackles are not going to bring him down. He's always falling forward. If he really is still sub 200, I mean, he's falling forward. Like, you wouldn't be able to believe it based on that weight, but he's a physical runner. Fights for those extra yards. I think he's actually probably more of a physical back than Isaac Brown. Isaac would be more of that Devon A-Chain type talent, and Duke's a little more, I would say Duke's a little more physical at the point of contact. You just see that, I mean, he's moving a pile, not going down easily. This is just as a true freshman, man. This kid has plenty of time to pack on some muscle, to continue to develop as a running back. True freshman, major conference, major production. It's hard to go wrong when you identify someone with all those things. And Louisville just happened to get two of them in the same class, at the same position. So, man, they're set up real nice. They are set up real nice at that position heading into the next couple years, and they deserve it. I mean, this Louisville-Miami game was a battle back and forth too, and Duke came up big with this pass here at the end of the game, tie it up. So he didn't catch a lot of balls as a freshman, but he showed what he can do, right? He caught a pass, scored a touchdown, tied it up, big moment of a big game, bowl game. So he can do it. It's just a matter of how much opportunity are they going to give him to do it. Anytime you see a guy in a return game, being used in a return game like that, that's a positive thing. It means they're dynamic in the open field. Big play threat. Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you like these kids? Do you think they're in for a big second year? Is there anyone else that you want to see us cover? Put that sophomore spotlight on. Let us know. Leave us a like. Subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. We got plenty of more content coming your way. All things college, all things NFL. We're bringing you tomorrow's stars before they blossom. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And until next time.